Is today the day that Bitcoin and altcoins are going to get let go of all the suppression and pump higher? Is crypto going to pump today? We've got an incredible deal showing up at 2:30 p.m. today with David Sachs making some comments about what the U.S. plan in crypto is going to be. Is it going to include with some of the integrations what's happening with the Sovereign Wealth Fund? Is it going to be what's happening with the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve? We've got to dive into this because I do think we are in for a fantastic day. We got some great signs in the charts for those that saw the members TA jumpstart this morning. You know what? I do think that we're setting up for greatness here. We just got to be a little bit more patient than expected. So right now, let's get the music playing. Let's vibe. Everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day. Share this out. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Bitcoin, altcoins to the moon. Well, let's talk about it.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the cult. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pump, altcoin, pumping.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a
Can't
flight
nobody
to
tell me
quality.
nothing. Bitcoin, pump.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Are you ready to dive into this? We've got the charts, we got the TA, we got the breakdown of what's happening in the crypto market. I want to see everybody getting active in the live chat. We've got a couple hundred people in here from X and from YouTube. Remember, if you're watching on X, if you're watching full screen, you can chat there in the side. I can see all of your messages. Let's make sure this is a community. I love you all. Everybody throw a 1 in chat if you're ready to dive into this. We are going to dive in and break down what's going on in the market. Let's get it. Is today the day where all of this bearish suppression and manipulation is going to get let go of in this chart? And we see absolute nice moonshots start to form here in Bitcoin, and all these altcoins have been waiting on. Is it only going to be Bitcoin, which could be a possibility? Or are we going to see a sell-off from some lack of the news people are expecting at that 2:30 p.m. Eastern time news conference from David Sachs, the crypto and AI czar? Remember, we had some major news come out yesterday with Donald Trump's executive order. We're going to be diving into that. I see everybody in here. We got Bad Fox with the green hearts. We got Dingo Booty. We got Get These Balls Too. I love the names. Green Day Profits, One House Productions, Arnie Lippins, everybody, man. Cariana H, Theo Rodriguez, Ugin, Dog. Family is here, but we got to dive into this because we got a lot of charts to cover in a short amount of time. But this is magnificent. I covered this in the morning members Jumpstart TA stream. By the way, just a reminder, if you're watching right now, look at this, we're doubling up here. If you're watching right now, make sure it says subscribed right here. Hit that subscribe button. After you do that, you should see a button there. It says join. Join us here on the BitLab Academy membership. It's about $1.25 a week. You get access to some of those things like those morning Jumpstart TA sessions, as you can see right here, that we've been doing, really helping, trying to make sure people are staying set here in the market. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on your notifications. You just click that little down arrow, click the all. Somehow over 55% of you that watch on a daily basis are not subscribed. Now getting back over here, what did I cover this morning? And it's still very relevant. This sell-off here, boom, from the measurement of this fib. If we delete this, the measurement of this fib from the low, boom, to this high that we just pushed up into, and look at where it went went right into this level of resistance that we already had demarcated. Exactly where it went. The sell-off is actually a very bullish structure as it stands right now, because this sell-off came to the 382, the 38.2% retracement. Now, very regularly in, especially in crypto, but very regularly in markets, you can have a sell-off come all the way down to this golden pocket, this 0.618, and it's still very bullish. It's a very regular thing. So having this retracement currently finding support right here on the 382 is actually a very bullish setup. Now, I do think that there's going to be, I don't want to say front end loaded, there's going to be some compression of both hope and fear leading up into what we're going to see today at 2:30 p.m. where we have David Sachs, the crypto czar and AI czar, discussing what the US's plans are going to be for crypto, stacking, holding, stockpile, strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's no telling what's going to be announced today. So when we realize that, God, why isn't price moving? Let's just remind ourselves to zoom out, double click there. Remember, back here on September 6th, boom, right here, we have moved up from that point. I mean, tremendously from that low all the way to the high we've had right about 109. 109% move that we've had since September. And some people are still saying, why isn't the price moving? Let it do the work, man. And the work right now is this. It's the price action, pushing up, trapping people long, selling off, trapping people short, pushing back up, trapping people long, so on and so forth. Now, in the case of what we just saw here on the 3-day candle, let's go to the daily candle. This is a massive hammer candle. These tend to signify bullishness reversal. In this case, we had the sell-off into it. So the reversal is indicated that it will likely be to the upside. In addition to that, you also have this falling channel here that was formed on this breakout where we have retested a few times. I mean, even if you extend this out further, look at that. I mean, we've tested this 3 times, forming this sort of channel that we have here. It's almost a falling wedge. But the point being here is we have this hammer candle, and that tends to indicate this reversal back to the upside, but also this falling channel, which also tends to indicate a breakout to the upside. The question is going to be, is it too good to be true? We got to make sure that we're staying focused here because there's a lot going on. And when we look at the market, we're, still above the 3 trillion mark, 3.26 trillion. Bitcoin's oscillating back and forth between over $2 trillion market cap and right back down below at Ethereum's. I mean, this had a major sell-off. For anybody that was wondering about Ethereum and, oh, maybe you missed your entry, maybe it's, this had basically from this point here, look at the sell-off that this had. That had a 37%, 36, 30, let's go all the way to the bottom, 37.4% sell-off. And then we got news from people like Eric Trump yesterday that said, now is a good time to be stacking Ethereum. You'll thank me for it. Of course, he's changed some of the wording on that, probably for compliance, but that is major. And today's a day. Yesterday, we had the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Today, we have the press conference at 2:30. I think there's going to be some things coming. We see how much ETH, World Liberty Financial, has been stacking. Yesterday, they doubled up their position with over 86,000 new Ethereum that they added. So when we see this, why is it dead? It's like, I mean, why are we not recognizing that this is a great buy opportunity? That's really the question. But coming back over to Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking through TA on a number of coins today. Shout out to Charles, $4.99 super chat. Said Tima is holding the floor well at 6 million, while coins like Chill Guy dropped 96 and still dropping, plus 1K Tima holders get airdrop every month. Charles, we'll look at, you've been super chatting about Tima. We'll pull up Tima today. I've never even looked at it. I'm not a big meme coin guy. The only one that I hold really is Dog on Bitcoin. But hey, this market is open for everybody. We all have different interests. We all have different holdings. So let's just love and support each other. We'll take a look at that. If we have any other super chats for coins, we will make sure to look at those as well. But continuing on, we got some great things going on in the market when we understand that it's not just the government stuff. We're seeing the integrations in real time. Trivago integrates with Travala, enabling hotel bookings in over 100 different cryptocurrencies. So access, awareness, all getting integrated beyond people just stacking into their corporate treasuries, but also the access points and the way, the utility beyond it just being its coin, for whatever, every coin has a slightly different purpose, but think about the utility of being able to spend them in the real world as well. Then we get into this. Today, Senator Haggerty introduces his stablecoin bill in the Senate. The bill is called the Genius Guiding Establishing National Innovation and U.S. Stablecoins Act and aims to provide clear regulations for stablecoins. Now, this may not feel sexy, but don't worry, guys. Everybody that's tuned in, I just saw we had a couple hundred people roll in. We got about 1,000 people watching. Big love to each and every one of you. If we do 10 super chats today, we will do a giveaway. And the way you enter that giveaway is you come over here to @KellyKellam or @Academy BitLab, and you see the stream that's live streaming right here. Hit that retweet button, hit that like button. We will randomly draw at the end if we get 10 super chats or 10 new members, either or. And that's the members here on YouTube. All you got to do, if you want to join, is directly below right here. Make sure it says subscribe, turn on your notifications, right? Once it says subscribed, it should say join right there. If you don't see join, click this little button that says more, and it says right here, join to become a member of the BitLab YouTube community. Boom. It's about $1.25 a week. You get access to those morning jumpstart TS sessions. I do some of the updates in my portfolio in there. Sometimes we do member streams, and you get all the emojis, and it's a great way to help support the channel and the number of people that help keep us going here. But this is important, regardless of how sexy you think it is. And yes, we're going to get to all your TA, but let's get a little bit of a base here. Is the better, clearer regulations we have for banks, for corporations, for the mom and pops, for pension funds, this clears the way for more capital to flow more freely into the space, as well as increase the number of integrations and the different types of utility the crypto industry can enjoy. So Genius Act provides clear regulations for stablecoins, defines stablecoins and digital assets pegged to the US dollars, establishes licensing and reserve requirements for issuers, applies Fed's rules for issuers over than 10 billion, state rules for over less than 10 billion, supports financial inclusion, efficient transactions, and dollar supremacy. Now remember, this is one of those things that is incredibly important, because for those of you that were around last cycle, we saw what happened with Luna and was it UST, I think it was called? The stablecoin tied to Luna completely, caused a catastrophic meltdown, and also top 10 coin to be in the top 10 to going to absolute zero. And that's because there wasn't a clear set of regulations. Everybody's out here wild westing it, trying to find our way in the dark with the blindfold on. And now we're starting to get a little bit more clarity. So this is bullish. Whether you think it's sexy for your price or not, this is going to be bullish. It also shows the focus we have within our governments of looking at these different aspects of the crypto industry. And we also got Falco gifting 5 memberships, sufficient enough. Theo Rodriguez, Crypto Crabman, and Buddy, all new members. Big love to each and every one of you. And thank you, Falco. I do appreciate And I really do appreciate all you guys. Now, looking here, we saw this yesterday, and this is going to be a big thing. You've probably seen it on every channel, but I got to give you my 2 cents. This is important because this may be encompassing some of that regulation, the executive order he did last week or the week before regarding the digital asset stockpile. And beyond that, supporting not only the massive amount of wealth that we generate and waste away at a government level here, but also how can we capture and build a wealth fund? It's surprising that we didn't have one. I was actually shocked to see this. It's like, wait, we don't have a sovereign wealth fund? Because there's countries around the world that have that. I mean, Norway has a $1.7 trillion fund. The US has a 50x larger GDP. So can you imagine what that'll mean? If they did announce it yesterday, sovereign wealth fund, but what is it going to be comprised of? Is this going to be something that actually kind of takes in that notion of the digital asset stockpile and marries it in, blends it in, integrates it in with this broader investment strategy for not only crypto, maybe only crypto made in the US, maybe, Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will be its own thing, but I still think Bitcoin would be a part of something if it was a basket of crypto. But this is major. This is major. And it's going to be very interesting to see what that conversation is going to be today at 2:30 with David Sachs. In fact, if we can continue on, this is what Andrew thinks. Some notes about David Sachs in today's press conference. Probably will be heavy on Bitcoin and timelines. Maybe nothing is absolutely done today, but they say, here's our timeline, here's what we're going to do, and here's what we want to do over this amount of time to see it through. That's going to be major. That will cause positive forward-looking environment in the crypto market. Discussion on sovereign wealth fund, of course. Timelines laid out to proposed legislation. For instance, Cynthia Loomis's Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, when that's going to happen. Anthony Scaramucci thinks it's going to be sometime to where it all kind of comes to fruition, sometime maybe around November. But let's see how it plays out. And yes, I expect there to be America First rhetoric with I don't know SWF is sovereign wealth fund, duh, and crypto reiterating no XRP. So it'll be interesting to see if there is XRP included in that or not. But there's a lot that's on the table today, and we might not have the immediate finger on the trigger to making things happen like in the next 3 days, but the radical transparency that we've seen so far from this administration has been fantastic. Again, whether you like them or not, they've been very like, here's everything we're doing. And especially with us in the crypto world, we've been so on the edge of our seats about, but you haven't done an executive order on the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Well, that's okay. Let's see how it plays out. What's the timeline? What are the goals to be met? What different Bitcoin and then what different other crypto assets may be included in this, and to what extent and how often will those purchases or time horizons be? That today is a very big day at 2:30 when we get that information that comes out. Then we look here, Bitwise Invest. Matt Hogan says, this is just a reminder. If anybody's worried about the price where it's at, are we topping? The ETFs brought hundreds of billions of new investor capital into Bitcoin and crypto. The change in stance towards the industry in DC will bring trillions. Now, just to remind you, what does that mean? Bitcoin is currently at about 2 trillion. So a doubling of that would be a $200,000 Bitcoin. Actually, it would be more than that because we're at 2 now. Yeah, it'd be a little over $200,000 Bitcoin. Now that's if, depending on how the prices are split and also what's going to happen with the other international, other states, right? Other countries, the number of states that we have now, when you look at the map of all the different states that are setting up strategic Bitcoin reserves here in the US, the majority of the map is now turning orange with people moving towards, getting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So when we looked at this and we realized there's trillions on the way, this is not market top. Any sell-off from here is, in my opinion, a little bit manipulated, and it's sad for anybody to sell when there's such of the brightest horizon we've ever seen in the market. That there is going to be a little bit of a question and I don't want to say distinction, but we have to be very careful here, because as bullish as I am on alts, and I still hold a huge amount of alts, and we were talking about this here in the office today, what does the landscape of this market look like moving forward in the next 2 years? Is it going to be Bitcoin centric with the capital flowing there, and we will get very subsects of the altcoin ecosystem that does run fairly well, and a lot of everything is left out in the cold? Is it only Bitcoin and not many alts at all? Will we have what feels like we're on the cusp of a major altcoin season? Is that still on the table? It's all these things. We have to be adaptable, because this landscape has changed so dramatically in the last year, but specifically in the last 4 months since President Trump was elected. So when he was President Trump-elect, and now with the new administration coming in, now with the crypto and AIs are, now with ETFs doing as well as they have, now with corporate entities and banks having a change in their ability to participate in this market. I mean, think about corporations. Because of the fair value accounting, now they can start really adding to their balance sheets and not have it be a negative impact on their balance sheets, which is what it was before. The SAB 121 rescinded last week. That means banks can now really start to lean into figuring out what products and services they want to offer the crypto clients out there. Also kind of remove some of that Operation Choke Point 2.0, where they're really crushing banks that were supporting crypto businesses. The landscape that we're in right now is so bullish. It feels a little confusing because what's happening on geopolitically and everything, and why are there tariffs and it's all set up, I think, in the very near future, in the next year and a half, Yes, that's near. We don't like waiting a year and a half, but sometime over the next year and a half, I think the dollar is going to be dramatically weaker. The markets are going to be radically higher. And the question is going to be, where does the capital flow within this ecosystem? That's why, for those of you that have been followed in BitLab Academy, in the actual academy, and for those that watch me here, I've been updating you on the my alt portfolio, the shared alt portfolio, and I've been kind of trimming it down, getting very focused into specific niches. Some are much more risky, but I think are going to capture a narrative. The other ones, I think, are very much entwined with what I feel like this cycle with alts is going to be somewhat focused on big money, VC, traditional finance integration. So things like real world asset tokenization, things like, we're just talking about like Chainlink, talking about Ondo, talking about what's going on in the AI narrative, a little bit more risky. But I think we're going to get a more focused season for particular sets in this market. So remember, trillions coming to the market. It's going to spill through all throughout the ecosystem, but there are going to be some clear winners. And this is a great example. This is a global strategic Bitcoin reserve. FOMO is happening right before our eyes, says Dennis Porter. And this is showing you where they are at on their sort of plan, on the land, on the timeline, the horizon for the different things that they need to do to get it there. Of course, El Salvador is by far the winner because they're already fully integrated with all this. But we're seeing Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Czech Republic. Remember, they had the whole bill passed where they were going to look at allocating towards Bitcoin. They got Germany. I cannot believe this is even here because they just sold billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin like complete jackasses, not seeing for the forest for the trees, but I hope they switch their tune and get back involved. Hong Kong, Japan, Poland, Russia, Switzerland, US. We need to be over here with El Salvador and get our act together because this is those who get their act together first, whether you're an individual, a corporation, or a country, it will be a dramatically different future the earlier people get involved. Now, when we look right here, we also see, okay, let's talk price. You guys want to talk TA? You want to talk price? Did we bottom? Is it going to go up? What's going on? Is there really like excitement in the data? I'm not talking about bias. Is there data that suggests that we could be pushing higher? Well, right here, stable coins added $40 billion since November. USDT on exchanges is up 41% to $43 billion in dry powder ready to pounce when everybody says all systems go. This is the largest liquidity stack up before price action since 2021. So you tell me, are we topped out? And then we see that fear and greed, which we haven't really looked at a lot lately, because it's interesting. It just didn't feel necessary to pull up. But for the first time since October, the crypto market has shifted into fear after an extended period of greed. So we've got all of this extreme greed, blue, extreme greed, still greed, green, extreme, still greed, extreme, a little bit of a move down here, but still neutral. But look at this. We finally flipped down here, and this tends to prove, especially in a bullish trend, it identifies that the right people in the market are scared, which are people that are selling, giving up their capital to longer term, smarter term buyers. And we can see that in other data. We see that in data like, my bracelets are pinching me. We can see that in data like this. Nothing new. The big players are buying. The small players are selling. My question for you is, do you want to eventually end up as a big player? You never will end up as a big player, a big money player, somebody that has their wealth, their success in this market, as we all want it to be, if you're selling the fear and buying the greed, aka buying a top. I'm going to buy it here because I don't want it to run away. And then it sells off and you sell here, and then you buy here, and then you sell here, then you buy here. So every time you're losing position. That's not what we're doing. We're seeing smart money buying like a motherfucker. And we see stable coins stacking up, which is dry powder getting ready to deploy into Bitcoin and other altcoin assets. And then we also understand that when we look at this For the 7th time this year, the Bitcoin funding rate, now this is the people that are trading on leverage and derivatives and options and all this, but we can see that the funding rate has turned negative. All 6 previous instances signaled a bullish, basically a bullish pop. Now, what this means, the reason why this is an interesting metric, funding rate is measured or determined by the number of people betting long on X, right? Whatever X factor, whether it's 3X, 5X, 10X, 20X, whatever leverage people are trading. If everybody's going long, then it costs more money to take that trade. Because remember, when you're taking a leverage trade, you're actually taking a loan from the exchange that is putting up the money. If I'm trading $1,000 on 10X, I'm trading $10,000, right? So that $9,000 essentially was loaned to me to cover that spread. Now, in order to do that, your margin, that 1,000, what you added, your capital in there, then you get a rate based on if everybody's long or if everybody's short, or to what extent. If everybody's long, then it costs money, and you get basically charged a funding fee. Roughly, on most exchanges, it's every 8 hours. So think about some of those people that do catch a great trade, 3 months ago, and they're riding a 3X leverage long. They're paying a funding fee over time every 8 hours on that, which can stack up. If somebody's doing like, $5 million trade on 5X leverage, that's $25 million trade, right? And they're doing that for 4 months. Of course, you're getting profits along that way. You're also having your margin eaten up from the fees. This is one way that they try to help balance the market, because then it becomes, I don't want to say it incentivizes, but it does in some ways have a balancing mechanism to incentivize people taking the trade in the opposite direction. So right here, boom, look, everybody is bullish here, where this is, everybody's catching these longs, and then it washes them out finally, boom, right here. And then funding rate flips bearish, right? You could barely see these little red dips. It's because all of a sudden everybody, the sentiment flipped to where the majority are taking shorts. And then what happened? The market launched. What happened right here? Okay, this is very high. Oh my God, it's so high. And then what happened? Let's go wash out all those people. Same thing right here. We see boom right here, had a little pop. Boom right here, had a little pop. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be a full-on reversal, but it's always, a full-on reversal starts somewhere. In this case, we got one right here. Everybody's long, boom, everybody's short. You can see with this red, and this popped up, came down for a double bottom, but this is a little bit higher low. When everybody flips bearish, that's when the market moves. Same thing is potentially starting to happen right now. So by looking at other data, rather than if you're excited about the price go up or price go down, screw the price. Who gives a shit about the price? We want to look at the data that's giving us an indication of what the deeper sentiment of the market is, of where people are putting their money and how. Things like these funding rates, things like the coin value days destroyed, things like where the RSI is in relative to the price action and different highs and different lows. You can gauge and weigh the data against what's happening with the candles on the chart to give you an indication of what's going on. So coming back over to, we're going to get into it today. It's right here. Right here. So Bitcoin, let's get down to the 2 hour. And remember, we've got the 2:30 press conference. I'm expecting some chop today between now and probably 3:30, 4 o'clock, because every word that is said and the tone of how it's said will affect people's idea, expectation, and cause emotional trading and small term volatility within this range. So as we're looking right here, we see we have negative. So here's the data. We see the purple or sort of pinkish wave down here. This is negative money flow, but starting to tick back up. The stochastics came down, kind of found a bottom. RSI is kind of not giving any data there because it did pump up, but it's kind of turned. Not a lot of clear data though. Where does it say on the 6 hour? Let's see. So yeah, also not clear either. The momentum wave rolled over, except we still have negative money flow. The VWAP's angled down, the stochastics angled up. Nothing clear there. The market's going to, the movement today is going to be determined on how excited people are about what's said, what the expectation is going to mean in the near term and the long term, and do people take advantage of it? Because there's a very real possibility, you guys have to realize this, there could be something great that's said today that will end up being met to fruition or fully integrated by the end of the year. And while it's an amazingly bullish setup in the long term, that may cause a little bit of a setup because you get excitement, hype into something, and it's usually a little overstated versus what the impact is going to be immediately in the chart. Now, if they announce they're doing a digital asset stockpile, these are the coins we're buying. We're going to have the strategic Bitcoin reserve fully situated and done by this date. These things might have a little bit more impact, but it's all going to be determined based on what they say in the charts today, in that press conference today. So when we're looking at Bitcoin right now, it's basically just still in the sideways range, very bullish. The Fibonacci from here to the top came down, held on the 382. I mean, I'm expecting a little bit of movement in here. If we do get a washout down to, look at this, golden pocket right at this previous level of resistance. 1, 2, kind of 3-ish, 2 times with the overshoot here. But the golden pocket is right on this diagonal trend line of support. If we lose that, then, market's still trying to shake some people out. But the bullishness is so stacked in the back end of this market on dips. I'm trying to find any buying opportunity I can. Similarly, when we look at ETH, we talked about this. Fibonacci from here, boom, to the top. This very similarly, there we go. Very similarly came down, held above the 382, but we're kind of trapped in this zone. It kind of looks a little bit like a bear flag. So yes, this is a bear flag, bear pennant. If that's the case, then are we going to have something that stands to reason that we get a sell-off that comes down here into 1800? It's possible. The chart shows that that is a likelihood. Given what's going on today with the Sovereign Wealth Fund and what's coming with the potential digital asset stockpile, I would put this as less likely. We can't ignore that that is a bear flag. I would be watching what's going on within this range and really, I would say, holding above this golden pocket here at 2,400, 2,440. But we got to let this play out. Solana. Remember, we drew this last week, Wednesday, Thursday last week. I said, hey, watch for this. These tend to, sorry, I'm getting somebody calling me from the Mario channel. These tend to break bullish. And I talked about this potentially breaking bullish and then selling back off and coming down. I did not draw this after this happened, but this is exactly what happened. So if we start getting some of these things outlined, is it going to be Solana? Is it going to be XRP? Is it going to be Cardano? Is it going to be HBAR? Cardano? All these different coins could be included or not even mentioned today. So there's volatility abound for what could be coming into the market today. So take advantage of opportunities. If we do get a further dip, I mean, take advantage of it or sit on your hands. You got other things like Ondo. We have the Ondo Summit starting 2 days from now. Massive sell-off here, comes back up, looks a lot like the other coins we were just looking at with the sell-off and push up. But I mean, if this comes back down, I hope it does because I'm doing a fairly large buy next week. But if this keeps running away, then this won't be what I add into. I'll add into something that hasn't moved yet. Aerodrome. Let's go ahead and delete this Fibonacci. I mean, they're all just looking the same. Push down, retrace. If this is able to push into this $8 zone, then we're essentially looking for, breaking through this $21 to $35 range. But I think the market's going to start moving very quickly in a short amount of time when the right trigger happens. It could be today. It might be in 2 weeks. The market's frustrating right now because there's so much on the table for what the U.S.'s involvement and participation and integration is going to be, and to what extent with outside of Bitcoin with all these alts. And so let's just stay positive. The market's still providing opportunity. I think we're still in for an incredibly bullish. Again, quarter 1, guys, we're doing good. We're feeling good. I told you I would look at TEMA. I forgot. Let me look at that real quick. I don't even know what this is on. TEMA USDT. I don't even know what this is. Let's see how see, this isn't something I would buy. There's no hate on you. We did have the market run up, but then, this basically revisit all the way back down here. If this is something you like, then, I can't even do TA on this, just because there's nothing. I would say on the basic level, but so long as this isn't a rug, this is starting to round out and create a base. Very negative money flow. This looks like it's trying to roll over. So this isn't something I would be interested in. But that's also, I also haven't looked into this project at all, but I just remember you super chatted me for that. But I would want to see this. I'd want to see this like clear this level before I'd even be interested, because I expect this will likely hit this a few times before it breaks through. Let's look at two more. Link, God, I'm still so damn bullish on Link. This telegraphed to likely roll over. We got the rollover, came back down to $16. Back up in here. We really want Link to get back above the $22 range into this zone, so we can start reassessing where the bulls come in there. When this rejection to push up, before it gets the move. But guys, Cardano also, they're all looking exactly the same. So let's keep our wits about us. Look to the 2:30 press conference with David Sachs. I think it's going to be very interesting. Discover Crypto is going to be live streaming. I'm also going to be hosting a breaking space on the Mario and Alpha channel on Spaces on Twitter. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Everybody hit that like button. We didn't get to the 10. We didn't get to the 10 deal, so no giveaway today. But I love you guys. I really do appreciate you. Make sure you're following me over here at Kelly Kellam, KELLYKELLAM, as you can see right here. I say that because there's about 40 or 50 fake profiles. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. Yeah, I love you guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. I'm going to send you over to Blockchain Basement now for some love there. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming.